As students head back to school, some state lawmakers are sounding the alarm about unsafe conditions in our Arizona classrooms.
They say climate change is making our summers longer and sending students and staff to school in extreme heat, sometimes in buildings that don't have air conditioning. Vanessa Ariza is here in the studio tonight. They'd like to see this change.
Yeah, as I'm sure the teachers and the students would, right?
Right.
Yeah, it can get absolutely miserable. So the elected officials, they joined with community activists today. They want to draw attention to this issue. One key area they highlighted, how the heat impacts our schools and everyone inside of them. Lawmakers say they're continuously hearing from teachers in northern Arizona, saying that their classrooms surpass 85 degrees. A lot of school buildings, they were built decades ago when summers were shorter and they weren't as hot. While a lot of schools, they don't have air conditioning. And those that do have outdated and overworked systems and can't afford to bring them up to date. Well, today, some Democrats spoke saying that they have introduced legislation that would address these issues, but they are not getting any backing from their Republican colleagues.
Unfortunately, in the House and the Senate, our Democratic bills are not seen. Last year, I proposed a continuation or a new Prop 123, which specifically goes to funding for capital improvement projects, and that was never even given a hearing.
Studies showed the lack of a proper cooling system can affect the kids. On the flip side here, when they're physically comfortable, it shows in their attendance, behavior, and academic performance for the better. Advocates who spoke today said that extreme heat should not be a partisan issue. They're calling on voters to support candidates who acknowledge climate change and push for policies that protect people from the extreme heat. In the studio, I'm Vanessa Ariza.